Come on. Come on. What that man did allows us all to be in class together, happy, loving on one another. The legacy that he left will live on forever. It's incredible. So before we go on any further with today's service, take out your phones for notes. You're going to need that. Y2s especially, we've got a few classes we need to make up. So Wednesday the 23rd at 9 a.m. and 3:01, we have a soteriology class that we need to make up. The following day, Thursday the 24th, we have a Pentateuch 1 class, and this will be our final session before course projects and finals. Who's excited for those? Yeah? No? Oh, me either. But that's going to be a special class. That class is going to be kind of integrated with lunch, so bring a lunch. That's how we're going to have to make that happen to make it up. And then that Monday, we have another soteriology session that we're going to have to do. So remember, Monday the 28th, we're going to have another makeup session. Y1s, this one's for you. Hope you got your phones out. 32 days until Honduras. With that being said, take off work, don't get fired.
Amen.
Let your boss know you have that week. You're going to take that week. You're going to Honduras. It's going to be amazing. Pastor Nanny does not need a text when you get back saying, hey, they just fired me for going to another country. That's not what you want. All right, so another thing. It's the last week of the fast. All right, by show of hands, has God moved in your life so far? We're in that final stretch of the season, and I believe that we can finish this thing out strong. Y'all with me?
Yeah.
Y'all with me?
Yeah.
Last thing, you have 3 Sundays left at your current campus. Everyone say, aw. So, with that being said, y'all, for Honduras, one more thing. Y1s, y'all be on the lookout and group me for a special text. Y'all are going to have to learn some things before y'all go over there. And I'm super excited about it. But, no. I mean, that's good to know ahead of time, but that's not what this text will be about. So, 3 Sundays left in our current campuses for you ministry leadership students. Worship and production, this doesn't really apply to you. You go wherever you're told. So, with that being said, I have 2 things I want to say about today's speaker. So, I'm very close to him, and when I say that, I mean we're literally 3 feet apart. Our beds are this far apart from one another. He's my roommate, very close to me. So, my first impression of the guy is really funny. We were at View, and he comes up to me. I introduced myself. Hi, I'm Chad. I've never had someone so energetic. It was the best thing ever. It really brightened up my night. He's like, hi, It took a second. I had to take a breath. I mean, he talks so fast. I don't know. I can't comprehend what he's saying. I had to slow down time. I had to take notes. I had to go back and read them so I could reply. It was great. So that my first impression is, wow, this guy talks really fast. I love him. Because my mom, she does that too. So another thing I noticed the first time I met him was this dude's style is like out of this world. Like this dude is styling and profiling, but it may have just looked like that to me because I was still in my bootcut jeans and boots. So it may have just looked like that. I've obviously upgraded, Chelsea's, ripped jeans, yeah. It's all good now. So let me tell you all a story. So this happened about 3 weeks ago. We had the honor and privilege to dog sit for Pastor Danny and Miss Tricia while they were out of town. And they have a driveway. It's a little bumpy, but at the end of the driveway, there's a piece of concrete you can park on. And we knew there was bad weather coming, and he didn't think that parking here was going to be a good idea, I guess. I don't know. So he parks in the dirt. You guys have all been to Pastor Danny's house, right? So you know, like, as soon as you open his front door, it's dirt. It's just dirt. There's grass coming in now. Yeah, there's grass coming in now, but it was just dirt. So he's parked out there. It just stormed. The storm was horrible. It rained all night. And when we wake up the next morning, he's got stuff to do. I've got places to go. I'm about to hop in the shower so I can get ready for my day. And as soon as I get in the bathroom, I get a phone call because he's getting ready to leave. And he's like, hey, I think I'm stuck. Man got stuck in Pastor Danny's front yard. So me, being the gracious redneck I am, went outside to try to help him. So Pastor Danny had some bricks around the house. I put some bricks on the tires so maybe he could get some traction if I helped push. Didn't work. So We're like, okay. So we called Pastor Dave administration and said, hey, can we use the FJ to pull him out? Because she had 4-wheel drive and I didn't trust my truck to pull him out. It's only 2-wheel drive, so sorry, Donovan. So we get the FJ out. I have a rope in my truck because all rednecks have rope for this occasion. Amen. He knows. So he has nowhere to put the rope so we can tow him out. There's nowhere under the frame that he can see that we can get. So I said, okay, I have no idea what to do in this situation because it's strapped up to the FJ. I knew what to do there. And he's like, you know what would be a good idea? Let's tie it to the trunk. So he pops the trunk, ties it to the rails on the trunk. Hold on. It gets better. So every redneck fiber in my being said, Donovan, bro, that's not a good idea. He said, no. So you see how fast I just talked? That's how he approached me the first time I met him. No. It's okay. We'll do this. I said, Donovan, I'm telling you, it's not a good idea. I said, bro, it's okay. We'll do it. We'll get it out. Deal. Done. I said, it's your car. Whatever. So he cinched it up. I got in the FJ. I was putting it in reverse, and I watched the slack just kind of tighten out. The noise that his trunk made was so scary. So I watched the slack, and we're pulling, and all yours. Burp! And I tucked my head out the window and said, you hear that? He said, yeah, let's check it. We check it. We tried to close his trunk. His trunk was this far from the back windshield. We ripped his trunk off the seal. So we do it. I do what any good Samaritan does, and I say, I'm not responsible for this, I told you. So I say all that to say, he's funny. I'm super excited about him getting up here. And the moral of the story is always listen to your redneck best friend because he knows what's best in these situations. Can I get an amen? So without further ado, stand on your feet, give him a clap. Donovan Green!
See, but what y'all don't know is every single school morning, Chad goes, hey bro, does this look good? So, before I start, I just want to give a shout out to my mom. For y'all that don't know, she's been a pretty big driving force in my relationship with God and growing me up into the man of Christ. And so I was 13 and I just got back from motion and I approached her and I go, Mom, I think I'm going to ministry. And she goes, yeah, I kind of known that for, since you were born. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me? And she goes, this wasn't right. And so I just want to give thanks to my mom. If it wasn't for them, I literally probably wouldn't be here. So yeah, thank you. So, does anyone in here have really crazy friends? I'm sure all of us do, right? Okay, so I have a story. So during the summer, if y'all don't know, I actually was out of a job due to some pretty crazy, unforeseen circumstances. And so this one summer day, I think it was in June, Ralph hits me up, he's like, bro, you want to make money? And I'm like, duh, I'm an 18-year-old that doesn't have a job. Let's go make some money. He said, oh bro, just come pick me up. And I kid you not, this kid says, let's go, we have to go knock on doors and you get $1 per house. And I'm like, this is dumb, why are we knocking on doors? And so anyway, somehow it just turned out it's a whole bunch of us going and knocking on doors every day for 5 days a week. And if you can imagine, if you're out there 4 or 5 hours, you can easily hit 100 houses in an hour. So we were making some pretty nice money. But what I wish someone would have told me sooner was not to buy this very expensive pair of shoes. If Jared Darby was here, he'd agree with that as well. Multiple people told me, oh, don't buy the shoes, it's done, blah, blah, blah. No, I bought them anyway because, a $900 pair of shoes sounded better than putting money down for college. Yeah, I bought them, and they happened to come in on a Thursday night, which if y'all don't know, it's a view night. And so I was like, I'm gonna look fresh in my J's, because they were Jordans. If y'all really don't know me, I honestly hate Jordans. I don't know why I bought them. wore them, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is so cool," blah blah blah. And I felt good. And so the next day, I looked at them and I was like, "Yeah, I just bought those for $900. I don't know why I have them. That's a waste of money." And so I woke up feeling very discontentful about that. And I feel like that's how a lot of us treat our lives, is we go through it and we're like, no, God has something better, but I want it now. You know, we seem to focus on the provisions of the world more than the provisions of God. The things that fulfill us now, we look for, even though God has something way, way, way better in store for us. And so I'm here to talk to you guys about contentment and how if we don't learn how to be content in every situation, we miss out on the promises of God. And so if you just bow your heads real quick, I'm going to open us up in prayer. Heavenly Father, God, I thank you for this wonderful day. I thank you for this time I get to sit here and speak to these students, God. I ask that you just fill this time with words from you, God, and just what you want to say. I thank you for everything, and it's in your name I pray. Amen. Amen. So we're going to be looking through Philippians 4:11 through 13. And in this passage, to give you some context, Paul is actually speaking, or he's writing this from a jail cell in Rome. And to me, I don't know about you, but if I was stuck in a jail, I'd probably be pretty discontent with my life. You know, Paul being a very, very influential Christian back during that time period. And for him to end up in a prison would probably be like to cage a bird. Like, why would someone who's doing so many good things for God end up in a cage? Like, how did that happen? And so I'm pretty sure that Paul here is feeling very discontentful. Like, God, like, why are you doing this? Like, why am I in a cage? But really and truly, he didn't feel like that. He was very contentful, very okay with being in a jail, because he knew that time, he was reprimanded for that time to speak and write to us now, saying, hey, you cannot be discontentful. You have to find contentment in every aspect of life. And so we're going to read it. And he starts off by saying, actually, I don't have a sense of needing anything personally. I've learned by now to be quite content whatever my circumstances. I'm just as happy with little as with much, and with much as with little. I found the recipe for being happy, whether full or hungry, hands full or hands empty. Whatever I have, wherever I am, I can make it through anything, and the one who makes me who I am. And so we're going to be even diving into verse 11 right now. Verse, like I said, actually I don't have a sense of needing anything quite personally. I've learned by now to be quite content whatever my circumstances. And I don't know about you guys, but whenever I woke up on a Christmas morning, I probably always got like that one big gift that I've always wanted. But I know that sometime, like on most Christmases, we would go over to like my grandma's, and all my cousins would be there. And just one year that happened, and my cousin showed up with a present that was way cooler than mine. And immediately I looked at it, and I looked at mine, and I was like, this is lame. Like, I don't want this anymore. I want that now. I don't want this thing that I thought was really cool, and then I saw that he had a way better present, a way better gift than I did. And the thing is I feel like we kind of tend to treat gifts from God like that. You know, we will wake up and we'll see that one of our peers is leading worship on a platform or doing something, and we'll be like, God, like, this is cool. I'm cool with this gift, but like, why didn't you give me what they have? Like, why am I not using that platform instead of the one that you gave me? When in fact, just like our parents, God picks out the perfect gift for us. He knows exactly what we need in this time. He knows, hey, you need that to grow you. You don't need that because you're not at a point where you can accept that gift and still focus on me.
Right. Yeah.
Right, and so that's why I feel like this verse is kind of telling us, hey, like, yeah, you know, that's cool and everything, but ultimately focus on what you have, because God obviously knew what you were going to need in this season of life. And 1 Timothy 6:6-8 goes, now, godliness with content is great gain. And say that word again. Godliness with content is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain that we carry nothing out. So that's the thing, like, you have to focus on what you have and what you've been given, because ultimately, God has given that to you for a specific reason. And then it goes on to say that we have food and clothing, and with these we should be great content. We need to learn how to not only focus on what other people have and building other people up. Like, it's cool. Like, if you see someone over here killing it in their area, like congratulate them, but ultimately like focus on what you're doing. And speaking with only having clothes and food, Paul talks also about having little and much. And then we'll hop into verse 12 where it goes, I'm just as happy with little as with much, and with much as with little. I found the recipe for being happy whether full or hungry, hands full or hands empty. Here's the thing, Paul is telling us to get acclimated to living either A, with a bunch of things, or not. With living, there may be seasons of your life where you'll be crushing it at your job, maybe getting promotions and making tons of money, like I was up until the summer. And then there's going to be times where you're not. You're going to be over here eating ramen when, 2 months ago, you're over here eating filet mignon. And so you have to learn how to be like, okay, there was a season where I was doing really good in certain, in this one thing, and now God obviously has shifted my life in the season I'm in. I'm now in a different season where I'm not making as much, I'm not doing as much as I wish I was, or I wish I knew I was. And then we still have to find contentment even in that, It's very important. A number of years ago, there was a show called The Goldbergs. I honestly don't know what that is. I never looked at I didn't really research into it. But, there's a show. And so Jake Goldberg, which is the husband of the house, he goes up to his wife, and I'm sure this is how the conversation goes. He goes, honey, I have a great idea. I have a great business idea. And, being the wonderful wife that his wife is, she goes, let me hear it. And so he goes and he starts telling this super elaborate plan of this business he has, whether, and then she goes up and she goes, that's fine, we don't have enough money for it, but I have a little bit of savings that I've accumulated. And so she ends up telling Jake that, hey, like, you can use it and everything. And so this conversation keeps on going on and on and on and on. And then this one evening, they're sitting at the dinner table talking, and he decided just to tell her this new idea about this business. And so they talk over it, and she drops this killer line. She goes, or Jake actually goes before that, talks about how they're going to be eating off gold plates and living in a nice mansion and all this. And like I said, the wife drops this killer line. She goes, but will it taste any better? Here's the thing, and this is something that I have personally learned. Yeah, it's great to accumulate a lot of nice things, have cool clothes, drive a cool car, but ultimately, you're still living with the sin that you have. You're still living with the heart condition that you have. Buying nice things, buying nice clothes can cover your skin, cool, but it can't cover your heart. Right. So here's the thing, like, what's really in your heart? What are you really trying to cover? What's that deepest little thing in your life that you're saying, oh, if I just get really good at playing, piano or, learning a guitar, if I get really good at designing things, if I get really good at photography, then it's fine. I'll forget about that, like tighten a bow, let it go. Here's the thing though. You can hide what's on the outside, but ultimately God knows what's on the inside. Yeah. And so if you're living your life trying to hide things and trying to accumulate masses of wealth and money and cars, it's not going to matter, because ultimately your heart's still in a condition that isn't right. And so the thing is we won't find purpose in this world. We won't find purpose in having cool cars. We won't find purpose in having, a good-looking wife or husband. We won't have purpose in even a job position. Look, you can go as high as you want in a church. It's not going to change the fact that your relationship with God is terrible. Yeah. It won't. It really won't. And so here's the thing, I urge you guys, learn how to be content with whatever you have. Because I know for me, personally, in my life, I haven't. And God has stripped me away of anything that I found, quote-unquote, purpose in. As funny as it is, you guys can look at my car. For a while, I really coveted cars. I really enjoyed them. And little by little, God has kind of stripped away that and humbled me in, whether it be a ton of car wrecks, because yes, I've gotten in 7 car wrecks. I don't know how I have my license. I really don't. But yeah, that's the thing. God will humble you eventually, and it won't be pretty. It really won't. It's gonna suck. And I'm speaking from personal conviction. Look, how God humbled me sucks so bad. But because of that though, I can stand here and say, hey, this is what Paul's talking about really is the secret to being content and happy with your life. It really is. And so Paul goes on and talks about, no matter what life can throw at him, he's still really content. But there's only one reason why he's really content. And in verse 13, he goes on to say, whatever I have, wherever I am, I can make it through anything in the one who makes me who I am. Philippians 4:13. Most of you guys are growing up hearing this verse. Oh, you can do all things through Christ. Oh, your grandma probably says, oh, don't worry about that. You can do whatever, Your parents say, oh, you can do it. Good job, good job. Yeah, it's a cool verse. It's a pretty staple verse in Christianity, but it goes so much deeper than just saying, oh, I can do whatever. Oh, I can do this. No. This literally is Paul telling us that, look, if we wake up daily and pray to God, asking for strength, like, God, help me get through this day, then we will craft our life in such a way that we will be content. Here's the thing. We look to God for our strength, like I said, for the daily trials of life. And Ephesians 6:10 says this, finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Here's the thing, guys, you guys can do whatever you want. You guys can go out and, like I said, amass millions, buy mansions, buy cars, all that. That's great. But if you're not actively looking to God and saying, hey, God, I want these things, but I also want your will, and if those aren't in your will, I'm okay with that. You have to be okay with what God has. And, it's gonna take some a time process of getting rid of that pride that you have and saying, you know what, I'm laying down these things that I once thought were God's will and God's purpose, but in fact, they're not. I'm gonna be honest. I would love to own a coffee shop one day, but I also love doing production. And if God suddenly goes, hey, here's this job doing production, but it means that I couldn't open a business, I ultimately have to wake up and be like, you know what, God? I'm still content. That's what I want, but I'm willing to lay down what I want, ultimately, for what you want. And if doing what he wants leads people to Christ, I'm okay with that. And so let me ask you guys, really, where's your purpose? Where are you really content in? Why? Are you trying to get cool? Are you trying to be cool? Or are you ultimately, laying down your life every day and go, God, I want what you want from me. I want to be content. And if you're not doing that, I really want to ask you guys, why? My question is why? And Kate, you come up. I'm gonna be real with you guys, cool cars, cool this, cool that, blah, blah, blah. Being cool is overrated. It really is. Yeah. Honestly, people, if you're in ministry, your goal shouldn't be to be cool. Your goal shouldn't be to get money, to have a nice house. God never once asked, told us, hey, if you work for me, if you do what I ask, if you go in my will, I'll give you something nice. No, he says, look, drop your nets and follow me. Right. We don't know. Nothing is guaranteed in this life. Nothing is guaranteed. We don't know what the next 3 days like. Pastor Daniel says it the best. With today in mind, God crafts you tomorrow. You don't understand what tomorrow will bring you. You really don't. And so that's why you need to wake up and be like, God, what's the goal today? There's going to be something in my life today that's going to make me upset and discontent with my life. There always will be. You cannot go through a day and find a little thing and be like, oh, I'm fine. That's fine. No, going from somebody who really, really focuses on the small details, 90% of the time, I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. That's not how I like it, No, that's not how it should be. We should learn to be content. Okay, so what if someone in class isn't sitting where I can see? No, or someone in church, better yet, is sitting in front of me. Yeah, that can probably make a lot of people discontent. I can't see the pastor, so I can't focus as well. No, be happy that you're even in a church, being able to listen to a pastor, because that's very rare. Don't take it for granted where you are right now, because you're in a season, especially right now for all of you guys, you're in a season where you have the ability to sit and come into a school to learn about ministry, where a lot of people can't. A lot of you guys are trying to go out of town or out of country into missions. You're given a luxury right now. This is a luxury. You need to treat it like that and be like, God, I'm content. who cares if you're 5 minutes late? At least, okay, we'll care. Please care if you're late. Just Pastor Danny will get you. No, but like wake up and be like, look, okay, so what if I didn't get the shower because I woke up late? Be happy that you're even able to come to a school to learn how to do this, because it is a privilege and an honor. And so as I'm closing, like I just want to ask you, like, really, are you guys really content? Can you really tell me, if I asked you, could you look me in the face and say, I'm content? Or is there something in your life where you need to be like, God, you're right, I'm not content in this area. And so with the week still left in the fast, I want you guys to really, really dig in and be like, God, like, am I really content? And if you're not, like I said, it's the fastest time to pray. Pray against pride. Ask God to humble you before God, or just to humble you. And that being said, let's bow our heads. God, I thank you for this wonderful time that I got to speak to these students. Lord, I ask that you just would allow this message to constantly work through their lives in this next week, Father God, that they just ask you, God, what is it, God? What is that little bit of tugging? If there is a tugging in your heart, and that you just don't let it be. Don't dismiss the fact that, no, I'm only discontent in this little area, it's fine, I can get by. No, like, that little area matters to God, and if it matters to God, it should matter to you. So God, I just thank you for this time. Thank you for this time I got to hang out with these students and preach to them, and it's your name I pray. Amen.
I was not expecting that. He's my roommate. He hasn't told me anything about this sermon, and I honestly could not be more proud of the work he's put into that. So let's give him a round of applause. So with that being said, really go back and dive back into this. If you took notes, if you didn't, go back tonight and just think about it, and challenge yourself before God. Say, am I content? And God, if I'm not content, show me what I need to get rid of so I can be. God, show me where my purpose is. So with that being said, chapel is over. We have ministry disciplines at 1 o'clock, and we have a phenomenal speaker today. I'm really excited. So you guys get ready. Be back here at 1. You guys are dismissed.